Hey guys, we are on to day 5 of my writing sprint challenge. So I split the video up because it was getting way too long with days 1 through 4. And today we are doing my little writing retreat. So essentially trying to see how many words can I actually write in a day. It is the weekend, so it's Saturday. So this would be more of my optimal for a weekend, which wouldn't be the case during the week because obviously I work full time, so I wouldn't have the time. But I kind of mapped out what my plan is. So I'm going to take you on a quick look to see what my plan is for this retreat. Okay, so this is what I have. So looking at my current manuscript, I have 33,000 words, and my goal is to get about 5,000 words in this little session. So I took kind of the information that I gathered from the sprint challenge. So on average, I could write about 460 words in 20-minute sprints. So I would need roughly 220 minutes, which would be 11 sprints. So roughly 3.5 hours. And for my focus time is I only can really do 3 sprints before I need to take a really long break. So with that, also my sprints will have 10 minutes apart. So I could do essentially an hour of writing. So I'll need 3.5 sessions, right? So I decided to break it up into 3 different times of day. So morning, afternoon, and evening, but the evening is at 4 p.m. So before dinner, then right after lunch, and then gearing up. It is 10:40 right now, so gearing up for my 11 a.m. start. Since it was the weekend, kind of took a slow morning start, so that's why I'm not starting until 11 a.m. So I have everything kind of set up. I got my scenes that I'm going to be writing during this session. So my first session is complete. I got 1374. So for the first sprint, I got 460, then the next one 468, and then 446. So I was pretty much on the dock of the average, which from this was 460. So I was hitting the average for the sprints, so that is good. Just finished the scenes and it is coming together. So one thing I've actually noticed is by writing for 5 days straight, I feel more involved in the story. There is a lot more that's coming to my mind throughout the day as the story kind of is settling in my mind of what's going to happen. And so it's giving me a lot of excitement to continue writing this story with Millie's adventure. And that's one thing is because I am typing this versus the first bit that I got done was all through dictation, and that's something I really want to get better at is doing dictation. But with that, I'm very broad. I don't do a lot of description, and so I think that's really great for a first draft or draft 0, however you want to look at it, or I guess a skeleton draft, skeleton outline. because when I'm typing, I'm able to add more detail. Like I said, deflated like a balloon. So I'm adding like similes, metaphors, all that stuff that I wouldn't speak, since it's kind of not how like I talk. So it's kind of difficult to incorporate those descriptions versus when you're typing, you're more in the storyteller kind of zone. So you're able to add those. They come to my mind a lot easier. So with that, I am taking an hour break, which is essentially going to be a lunch. And then with that, what time is it? So it's 12, so that'll put me at the 1 o'clock to do my next sequence. So on to the break and then on to writing again. Hey guys, so I am done with my second session, and so I got 1,255 words, which is good, but I am completely fatigued. I took an hour break, and right now I'm supposed to be starting up the next session, but I basically wrote the whole entire book. So I finished it up, which is really good. And it definitely, the ending's finally coming together. But I need to revise a lot. Now I know how the ending is supposed to be. I definitely need to add a few red herrings in like the middle. So like focusing on Act 2. So I think I'm not going to write any new words. And so with that, I am going to start doing my revising. And for this writing tree, I'm basically calling it complete. But I'm definitely want to show about my thought process of how I'm going to revise this book. Because I really wanted to get it done before the Christmas holiday so I could have some family members like read it, give me feedback, so then it can move on to the editor and be the very best it could be for that final pass through. So for today, I finished 2,629 words, which I think that's the most I've ever written in a day, because I can't write for very long, so I'm super stoked about that. What was I thinking, trying to write 5,000? That'd be like the ideal if I could write 5,000 words in a day, but you know, over 2,000, over 2,500, that's pretty awesome. And you see Tux right there. So that is it. Thanks for joining me on this kind of writing sprint challenge, and I definitely think that the 20 minutes is like perfect for me, so I'm glad that I'm able to find that sweet spot. And so wish me luck on revising this novel. I'm a little worried how it's gonna go, but I'm definitely excited to see how it finishes. Okay, so what I'm going to do to start my process of editing is to go scene by scene. So what I've done is I've printed out my document. It is about 85 pages, so it is quite a lot. And what I did was I put it in a program called Fictionary, which is really good to see like your overall structure and all your characters of when they're coming to a scene, when they leave a scene. So it's really cool. And so with that, I printed out from Fictionary, which essentially it breaks up the document into where all your scenes are. So it went ahead and you see right here the little 3 asterisks. So that means it was the end of that scene and then it moved on to the next. Versus in my Atticus, which is my formatter, it is all under chapter 1. So what I'm going to be doing is, now I have everything broken up to scene. I will be going scene and reviewing basically what's on my scene card. And so let's kind of go over the goal, the conflict, and the disaster. All those things need to happen in a scene for it to be engaging. And then with that is like the action. And then you have a reaction, which then is the reaction, the dilemma, and the decision that the main character has to go through. So what I did was I color coded them, and let me take you to a closer look to see what my plan is. Okay, so here's my document, and so I have chosen some colors, which are all the Sharpie S-Note. These are the colors that I'm going to be using. And so what I'm going to do is, this first round is I'm going to highlight the scene to make sure that it has these 6 items, or I guess the first part of the scene, make sure that it has the action, and then the second part, make sure it has the reaction. So essentially, it could be one huge scene that is broken up into the 2 parts, or it could be one scene and then a second scene that comes right after that has the transition. So I want to color code this while I'm reviewing. And along the way, I'm going to be making any grammar, spelling, that kind of thing. But that's going to be in my next step, which is then going through on Pro Writing Aid to make sure everything is good there. So I have my colors, and so for the first bit, which is going over like the POV, so going over the main character's goal, then the conflict and the outcome. So I'm going to use this yellow color for going over the goal, make sure it's very clearly indicated. Then the lime green for over the conflict, and then pink for the outcome of that scene. And then for the second part is any emotional reaction that the character faces, the dilemma, so kind of what's the, I guess, outcome from the conflict. And then going over the decision is what is my main character going to do from that situation. So that is kind of be what I'll be working on for this coming week. It's going to be a lot of reading, but I'm excited to see how this story comes together. So I'm going to start reading and doing my highlighting, but essentially that is what my game plan for the rest of the day and into next week, because it's going to take me a while to read. I've done already a quick run through on Pro Writing Aid just to kind of catch big things. But what's really cool is if you use the web editor, they have all these different reports that you could take a deep dive. So you could look at they're called like echo. So basically is how many times is the same word repeating? Does it sound alike? So I was looking at one of my sections and I said front door in like the same paragraph twice. So I went ahead and changed the second front door to describe it a little bit. So I was saying that, oh, it was a wooden farm style door. So instead of just saying front door, now it has a descriptor. And so it's really cool. You could check out your dialogue tags in it. So it's definitely helping clean up my manuscript. And once I finish like the quick overview, I'll go then deeper into doing line by line, using that as an aid before it gets moved on to the next stage of my publishing process. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of writing retreat of hitting over 2,500 words in a day, which for me is like crazy to think that I could do that. So it's really cool. And then my game plan of how I'm going to revise the book. So if you're interested in seeing more of these writing author vlogs, let me know in the comments down below, because I'd be happy to do more videos on my writing process and, you know, Millie Grant's journey through sleuthing and how she's gonna kind of make the town of Mooresville safe again. Okay, see you guys. Bye.